Disney Television Animation has been putting out some great original programming in recent years. Shows of note include Phineas and Ferb, Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and Ultimate Spiderman.
Garbage.
In 2012, Disney released Gravity Falls, a unique story about a twin brother and sister who for the summer holidays are sent by their parents to a remote town called Gravity Falls, staying with their Grunkle Stan, where they work and live in his home/business/tourist trap called the Mystery Shack. But it quickly becomes apparent that things are far from normal in Gravity Falls, and that behind all the tacky and cheap sideshows their uncle has built, there are genuine mysteries to be solved. Created by Alex Hirsch, whose previous work included Cartoon Network's The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, where he worked alongside Adventure Time creator Pendleton Ward. Gravity Falls began as an 11-minute low-budget student film, which Hirsch made at the California Institute of Arts, then pitched the pilot to Disney, who bought the idea and started airing the show in the summer of 2012. The series was inspired by Hirsch's own childhood experiences with his twin sister during their summer vacations. I discovered this show late in its run, but quickly found myself drawn in by its clever narrative, extremely likeable characters, and razor-sharp humour. A big part of this is Alex Hirsch's hands-on involvement, along with creative director Mike Rianda, who employs a process that involves them scrutinising every script submitted from the writer's room. It was common practice for Hirsch to rewrite Dipper and Mabel's dialogue, because of the connection that he has to the characters. Hirsch has said in interviews that he and Mike Rianda will stay up for about 24 hours prior to the delivery of every script, taking all weekend to work on it, often all night, drinking Red Bull, and taking shifts to sleep on the couch, with occasional breaks to slap each other in the face.
The creative process.
As with all shows, I focus on several key elements to determine if it is indeed truly great. Main theme and intro. Quirky and fun, but also has the hint of the weird and potentially sinister, while also introducing the main protagonists. It's quickly become one of my favourite theme tunes. Soundtrack. All music for the show was composed by Brad Breck, who has an extensive background in writing soundtracks for television. Throughout the series he injects an eclectic mix of songs and background music that perfectly suits the tone of each episode, managing to balance between fun and adventurous, and when needed sinister and tense. Story and characters. The show focuses on Dipper and Mabel's daily exploits with the strange goings-on and even stranger people of Gravity Falls. I hate spoilers, so I won't be discussing the main story arc or any of the reveals in the show, but a major element of the series is the dynamic between the twins. Each episode generally features a random occurrence or mystery that Dipper and Mabel will attempt to solve, often with the aid of a mysterious journal Dipper discovered in the woods, which caused the two some trouble in their attempts to be accepted by others in the community. Dipper wanting to be taken seriously and seen less as a helpless child, and Mabel just wanting to have friends. Mabel also doesn't lack much in regards to self-confidence, gleefully living as silly a life as possible. Helping them in their exploits are Zeus, the Mystery Shack's always endearing handyman, who is not the brightest bulb in the pack, and Wendy, who works in the gift shop and soon joins the duo on their adventures. However, the real star of the show is Stan Pines.
Now that we're alone, Rosanna, there's a burning question which my heart longs to ask of you.
Oh, Reginald.
Hey! Wanna hear a joke? Here goes. My ex-wife still misses me, but her aim is getting better. Her aim is getting better. You see, it's funny because marriage is terrible. What?
Everything he says is funny.
The fez-wearing self-admitted con artist / petty crook who, when not trying to fleece customers of their money and regularly exploit and often endanger his great niece and nephew for the chance of profit, will happily sit around in his underwear and expose his gross body for all to see.
That seems like the kind of thing a responsible parent wouldn't want you doing. Good thing I'm an uncle.
The town itself is filled with characters of various walks of life, some with surprising ties to the mysteries surrounding Gravity Falls. A couple of note include Gideon, a child television evangelist / psychic conman who is a nemesis to Stan, and Pacifica Northwest, an entitled heiress who comes into conflict with both the twins over the course of the series. The continuity of the show is terrific, with hints of things to come spread out in every episode. Hirsch has said that the hardest part with the episodes is to find a character story that actually uncovers, explores, or pushes tension. What makes this series so unique is that this balance really works. Episodes often vary quite considerably on what the focus will be on, but they will always be weird, and as more characters are introduced and plot is revealed, the scope of the story being told becomes increasingly impressive, but never failing to hit the audience with some extremely clever humour. However, the real strength of the show is the relationships between the characters, in particular Mabel and Dipper's close bond. Every episode will feature a nice moment between them goofing about or partaking in some task. Their love for each other is a major driving force of the narrative, as is the relationship with their Grunkle, who between being a disgusting human being does care about them in his own way.
Alright kids, here's how it's gonna go down. Whoever sucks up the hardest gets the key to the new room.
Grunkle Stan, we're not going to suck up to you just to get the new room.
Yeah, we are.
10 suck-up points for Mabel.
Yeah, we are.
Trying too hard. Minus 15 suck-up points.
What?
Good decision, Grunkle Stan.
Trying way too hard. Plus 50 suck-up points. Now, who wants to retile the roof in searing 105-degree heat?
Me, I'll do it.
No, Dipper, give it here.
Stan, no! You're a good uncle.
I'll kill you.
He's just so funny.
Design and style. This show had real money put into it, and it shows. I could have happily done an entire episode on this subject, as each episode is crammed with some stunning visuals and fantastic designs. The first ever episode I saw involves Dipper enlisting the aid of an arcade game character who was a walking homage to Street Fighter, as well as other games of that period. It's a love letter to old school gaming. Paul Robertson designed the pixel-based characters. His previous work involved designing the sprites for the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World game. Nice touches like this are featured throughout the series. Action. Something that the show always handles particularly well is its balance between humour, action, and occasionally borderline horror. Every episode features a chase or fight sequence which is endlessly inventive in how it employs elements from that week's story or in throwback to a previous plot point. Voice cast. Dipper is voiced by Jason Ritter, the son of the late John Ritter. Mabel by Flight of the Conchords alum and Bob Burger's regular Kirsten Sachel. Creator Alex Hirsch voices a lot of the main characters, including Grunkle Stan and Seuss. Linda Cardellini voices Wendy. Deadpool and Silicon Valley star TJ Miller as Robbie, and veteran voice actor D. Bradley Baker. No modern cartoon is ever complete without Kevin Michael Richardson, who also voices a lot of smaller characters throughout the series. There is also some high caliber guest stars, including comedic genius Nick Offerman, the legend Peter the guy who voiced Darth Maul in Phantom Menace, Nathan Fillion, The Daily Show's John Oliver, Larry King, Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, and Coolio.
You know, it's good to see Coolio still be relevant. Good for you, Coolio. Good for you.
The Clancy Brown effect. Whenever I watch any cartoon, the first thing I check is, does it feature Clancy Brown? Clancy Brown is one of the all-time greats of cinema and television, most famous for his roles as the Kurgan in Highlander and Lex Luthor in Justice League. Still to this day, the best Lex Luthor. The man has done a lot of voice work over the years, to a point where his presence has almost been a constant in shows that I watched growing up. As a result, any show not featuring him will never in my eyes be truly great. Is he in Gravity Falls? Yes, but not enough. How meta is it? Straight answer, very. Unrelated to the main plot, but something really fun, is that Mabel will wear a different sweater each episode. The sweater will sometimes be shown being made by her in the episode preceding that one. There are loads of nods to iconic films and television shows, and the series often pokes fun at horror conventions, while at the same time managing to bring something fresh, and often at times very random. Time Baby being the standout of the show. The universe is also loosely connected with cult hit Rick and Morty, with elements crossing over very briefly. These links are because Rick and Morty creator Justin Roiland is friends with Alex Hirsch. Justin Roiland has also voiced characters in the show. However, a major part of the series' success is the secret messages and hints each episode contains, which the fanbase of Gravity Falls loves. At the end of every episode is a brief flash of code, which is for a cryptogram, which depending on the type of code can be decoded by the use of multiple types of cipher.
You know, I don't know how I feel about a cartoon trying to teach me things.
The show ran for 2 seasons, spread out over 6 years. It came to an end in February 2016, but not because of any lack of enthusiasm from Disney or from audiences. The show had proven a huge cult hit with children and adults, and had even won an Emmy for its achievements in animation. Alex Hirsch simply didn't want to drag the story out. The writers has always had a clear plan, and that was to tell the story of the twins Summer and Gravity Falls. The series ended with an extremely satisfying 1-hour final. Those of you who really loved watching Lost, but were disappointed by its final, you wasted years of your life on something not a fraction as well thought out, intelligent, or beautifully framed as Gravity Falls. Credit to Disney for trying something different and taking a risk. 5 Megaminds. If you haven't, then do yourself a favour and give it a go. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe. Until next time.